and welcome to San Francisco. This is Pat Summerall with John Madden, here to watch the San Francisco 49ers battle the Dallas Cowboys for the NFC Championship. Let me tell you something, John. I'm definitely been looking forward to this one. You got 49ers led by Steve Young and Jerry Rice, and they got the Cowboys. I'm definitely looking forward here. Them hosting the Cowboy with Nate Newton, Larry Allen, Troy Aikman, and Deion Sanders over there on there playing quarterback, him and Jerry Rice. You guys need to take advantage of this. You're going to get the booms and the bams. You got all these future Hall of Famers about to play him. That's right, John. We're going to sit it down to the field, to our analysts down there for some interviews. Hey, everybody, what's up, y'all? Hey, my name is Reggie Harris once again for the Multifaceted Minute here from Harris Multifaceted. Go check me out, baby. Check out the website. Check me out on Harris Multifaceted on social media to get more from it. But we're going to start this podcast today, man. I'm just excited to do this one today. We're going to go ahead on and get started with our first part, the motivational moment. And I want to talk about reframing what is wealth. A lot of time we think that wealth is accomplishing a bunch of materialistic things, goals, and a bunch of power. That's what we really think wealth is. It can be that. I will say that it can be those things also. But where I really feel like that true wealth lies, and a lot of time, and studies are beginning to show that, it is in peace and having your sanity. That is where wealth really lies. If you have your peace, if you have your sanity, and if you have your mental health and your physical health, that is wealth. That is wealth. Think about it. All right. So what good does it do you? Let's break this down here. Okay, what good does it do you to accomplish power, to accomplish wealth? Yeah, you might enjoy it for a season. But if you work yourself until you're sick to get it, are you going to really enjoy it? Or are you going to leave it behind for somebody else to enjoy it for you? Interesting. Now, let me ask you this. Even if you leave it behind for somebody to enjoy it for you, maybe you want that. Okay, we're just saying hypotheticals. That's what you want. All right, what if they're unappreciative of it? Sometimes people only, and we can say this about our kids, about other people. It's like, man, I think I want people to appreciate me. But sometimes people don't appreciate you or things that they come in inheritance with unless they had to earn it, unless they've been through something, in order to get it. It's like all the time I tell people, the biggest lessons of empathy come from going through hard things in life. People say, man, I want to grow. I want to have patience. I want to have empathy for people. I want to care about people. But a lot of times you have to go through hard times yourself, and your family have to experience hard times in order for you to grow in those types of areas, because you don't have an understanding of what somebody else is going through until sometimes you're in those shoes or in similar shoes. And it's the same way when it comes down to this. Sometimes people are very unappreciative of things that they've never had to earn. And they don't even have an appreciation of you unless you make them earn it sometimes. And so a lot of times, as you're sitting back, you have to realize too, hey, maybe I do need to make my kid or whoever, this organization or whatever I'm going to leave this wealth, quote unquote, wealth to, let me allow them to appreciate what they're going to get. And sometimes we can facilitate that learning for them by not allowing ourselves to be crutches for them. So let's bring this into more of a dynamic too. We talk about physical health. If your body is the only thing you're taking to the graveyard, your mental health is the only thing you're taking to the graveyard. And then when you're dead though, you won't even know that even exists anyway. All right. Your spirit is going back into the cosmos, into the galaxy, wherever your spirit goes, and your flesh is going into this ground. All right, it's going there and to be recycled back again. and being used in the soil. That's all it is. It's just going to go back into the ground again. So we're made from dirt. We're going back to dirt. But the only thing that you really own on this earth is your physical health and your mental health. And those things are mainly things that are mostly neglected by us. Let's think about that. How many times have you neglected yourself, your mentals, your physical, and your emotional health for somebody else? You can probably count more times on your hand that you've done those types of things for yourself, for somebody else, or to gain materialistic things, or to gain power, prestige. You've sacrificed those things in order to get, that power, that comfort. And I call it materialistic comfort because sometimes you can have all the materialistic comfort and not have mental comfort. I want y'all to think about that. Mental comfort, emotional comfort, peace, sanity. I heard Mike Tyson say this, and I shared it before. Mike Tyson, he said it. He's like, when his most peaceful time he ever had was 3 years in jail. He said, you get to a point with all the pressure and stuff, and when you don't have peace within yourself, the only thing you want is peace, and you'll give everything away to get that. So I want to challenge you guys, reframe what wealth really is. Peace, mental health, emotional health, and physical health. Make sure those things, you're investing in those things, investing in yourself. My mama used to always tell me, say, baby, you can't take care of nobody else until you learn to take care of yourself. She tells us that all the time. And that's why she taught us. She taught us how to wash clothes. She taught us how to cook. She taught us how to clean. She taught us how to think logically. She taught us how to be practical. Because her, my dad, and my grandma, she'd always tell us that we ain't gonna be here with you always. We gotta go. And then we ain't got nothing. We broke. We ain't got nothing to lead to y'all. But what we do have to lead to y'all is wisdom. And the tools, basically the tools to get out and get your own. And to grow. She gave us tools. My mom and dad still alive. They gave us tools. My grandma, she passed on, but she gave us tools to survive. And I had to say, man, I'd rather have that any day from them than to have them leaving me an inheritance. I can promise you that. And then, investing. Like I said, yoga. Men, go to yoga. Please, just incorporate it one time. Learn how to meditate. Learn how to think. And the reason why I'm pointing out men is because, I go to yoga studios, it's mainly women. It's mainly women. I'm telling you, men, let's get involved and let's work on our mental health. I tell people, I said, the reason why we as men are mainly responsible for most of the aggressive crimes like sex crimes and violent crimes and stuff like that is because we've been taught to not embrace our emotions, to not embrace other aspects of ourselves to be able to process things. And so a lot of time that if we continue to store, our bodies hold on to stress. Our bodies hold on to anger. It holds on to all of that stuff. And we have to learn how to release that. That's one thing I tell people yoga did for me. Yoga taught me how to process and release. It allowed me to be okay. Like women talk and they do things to help them get over heartbreak, pain, rejection, all of those types of things. Men, we don't like to talk about those things. We just store them. And we do that. I don't believe in crystals. I don't believe in yoga. I don't believe in meditation. Because we've been programmed that somehow or another, all of these types of things are some way sacrilegious or some way they will intrude upon whatever. And women usually are taught to embrace things for their emotional and mental health. But we got to reprogram that, men. We got to be not afraid to cry. I tell people just like that. I'm about to talk about football here in a moment. I'm aggressive. I love football. I get so crunk. I be cussing and jumping up and down and be all crunk and stuff, but I also know how to stay calm. I'm an official, football official, basketball official, different. So I know how to keep my calm down and stuff like that when I was a coach. Know how to relax, be in the moment. Pressure situations, I know how to slow things down. And here's the thing, like Muhammad Ali said, move with strategy over emotion. And then I've also learned to go back and revisit those emotions. If I need to cry by myself, if I need to, and here's a funny thing, like, all the time I joke around, like when guys, how we handle like rejection or heartbreak from a woman or something like that. Oh man, I can't stand that beat. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, she ain't blah 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 blah. We bad mouth. Instead of just saying, man, that kind of hurt me right there, man. She broke up with me. She rejected me. That kind of hurt. And women are more likely to do that. Yeah, they might say, oh, men are dogs in the process, but they will admit they're hurt. Guys will be like, man, that ain't hurt me. I'm a man. I'm a this. I'm a that. But that stuff is still inside of you, and it comes out in other ways. So here's the thing. True wealth, baby, is taking care of those mentals, taking care of those emotions, finding outlets, finding positive things, getting around people, developing a community. Build that stuff up, because the only thing, like my mama said, she never seen a U-Haul going to a graveyard, baby. Never. Build your wealth, but I say first start off building this wealth, your mind, your heart, your emotions, and take care of your physical wealth, because your physical wealth is going to propel you to get those materialistic things too. Think about it. All right. So moving on here, man, fitness and health. Please go check out on YouTube, on my YouTube, Harris Multifaceted channel. I got some band workouts on there. Along with that too, is on my social media. So Harris Multifaceted, or my personal one on Instagram, or, also got, I think I've downloaded them to Twitter and stuff too. So check me out, man. Twitter and IG is Reggie M. Harris 7, along with Harris Multifaceted. Just look those up. I don't have Harris Multifaceted on Twitter yet, but I got it on Facebook and IG. And like I said, YouTube, you can see those videos of some band workouts. 2 sets, I usually do of those exercises like 30 reps, 20 to 30 reps, depending on the resistance, 2 to 3 sets. Man, those things, bands, hey, they are the you-know-what. So they allow you to have fullness of muscle without necessarily trying to add a lot of mass. And a lot of people do. They just want to get toned up. They want to breathe a little hard, sweat a little bit. The bands are perfect for that. Okay. Another thing too, man, when you work out, you don't have to work out for an hour, 20 to 30 minutes. Please understand that. And maybe 20 to 30 minutes may lead you to working out 4 or 5 days a week. Now, if you do like an hour workout, you can get away with just working out 3 days a week, 4 days a week, or whatever. But you have to invest in yourself. Okay. Make sure you're doing that. Next here, man, we're going to talk a little bit about finances. Yeah. I'm a former banker and, fintech guy too, and so like I do take a lot of pride in managing money and being efficient with my money and creating experiences for myself, yet saving and everything too. Now, I know a lot of you guys have kids going into college, got, a lot of people out there need to repair their credit, different things like that. One of my favorite things I tell people, just the basics, just start with this. Save up some money, about $500 at least, or find out from your bank how much you need to save to get a secured credit card. What a secured credit card is this. They will take that money in, whether it's, some banks, I've seen banks that do $500, some of them do $250, or whatever amount that you want to have on that credit card. And they put it in a CD for you. And they usually have a probationary period, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years, to watch and to monitor how your spending habits, make sure you're not going over the limits and different things like that. And then my next suggestion is keep that within 30% of the balance. Okay. So say for instance, you're going to do that $500. So you got a $500, you got that in the CD, it's in there. So it's a secure credit card. You got a $500 limit. So every month, don't spend no more than $200 on it, or keep the balance under $200. That will raise your credit score exponentially. All right. If you spend a certain amount, pay it off. But continue to keep that. Okay. Also, you have an old credit card and you like, and I tell people just like, nothing against Dave Ramsey, but Dave Ramsey be wrong. You ain't going to be able to buy no house or get you a nice car or get anything established if you around here listening to Dave. Because Dave tell you to do all this, not to get in debt in order to, think about it. in order to even stay in a nice neighborhood or get a decent car to drive, you gotta have credit. I don't know anybody making that much money a year. Now, for rich people, yeah, if you making $300,000 or $400,000 a year, of course, listen to Dave. You feel me? But majority of Americans are not making six figures. You can't listen to Dave. You can listen to him on like basic budget stuff, you know, how to pocket things and stuff like that. But if you're talking about getting a house and trying to, build some land, get some stuff like that, you're gonna have to have a credit. You're gonna have to have a credit score. You're gonna have to have it because that also dictate the rate that you're gonna get. So if you want a smaller rate, you have to practice on credit. You have to learn about credit. And so those are my little two suggestions right there. Get a credit card, do it secured. If you don't, if you know that's, you need to build it. And that's a great suggestion for parents with college students. Make sure you do that. Get them started because here's the thing, they're gonna spend money. And it's a good way for you to monitor it too. You can get the statement, look at it, keep them accountable to that. Help them build that credit while they're in college. And then when they get out, they already have a footing with that credit. And then they can go out, or maybe you co-sign with them, Carl, but by then, maybe they'll already be able to sign by themselves at a good interest rate. Okay? So make sure you do that. Keep that thing under 30% too, okay? Keep all your ratio of debt. So if you have, a credit limit of $100,000, no matter what that is, try to keep it at 30,000. And then it's gonna just exponentially grow. Pay your bills on time. Please, that is a must. Keep a journal of your bill. I have a bill journal, and I'm never late on my bill because I have a bill journal. Sometimes, every now and then, it slip up. But I get that email or that text alert, oh man, I forgot. And it has happened. But make sure that you keep a bill journal showing which bills are due, when they're usually due, and at what point in time they're usually due, okay? All right, so that's for your little financial tip right there, baby, on the news on the financial side. Couple things in the news, man. Be careful for that monkeypox. Man, be careful. I know we've seen the videos. You can go YouTube them or look on IG, whatever, Facebook, and see that. Gas going down, which is great, which also shows that, probably gas companies have leveled their lost profits from 2020. Now they're beginning to stabilize that. Mortgage rates have begun to level off now. So if you're thinking about getting a house, you probably could wait a little bit longer. They might drop a little bit more, but they are now leveling off. So if you're thinking about that, go ahead on and do that. Go ahead on and, if you feel like the time is right, but make sure you talk to a mortgage lender. Get out there and talk to people, man. Get out there. Most mortgage lenders are good people, and your real estate agents, if you got a friend that is a real estate agent, they are gonna take care. Your real estate agent friend gonna take care. You wanna know why? Because word of mouth is the best referral. They are not gonna steer you the wrong way because they understand that their biggest advertisement is not putting their face on a billboard. It is helping someone get from one step to the next and a big decision and helping them and walking them through it. So they understand that and they're going to take care of you, okay? So make sure you get in touch with your real estate agent friends or somebody that you've heard that is really good through word of mouth. Ask somebody that's connected with that. Also, like I said, if you got a relationship with your bank, make sure you visit that mortgage lender. Talk to them. There are people out there that are willing to help. We just have to open up and talk about it and not be ashamed of our finances and where we're staying. A lot of us, we get ashamed. Well, I'm not sure. No, I don't know. I feel like I'm not. And they will help you. Like nobody's there to judge you. A lot of time we create preconceived connotations of people about us. You see what I'm saying? Like we're projecting how they would feel about us because sometimes, we may have had that happen to us through our life experience with somebody has done it. And so, that's a safety mechanism. And I get it. Safety mechanism. But we can't be afraid to take chances, okay? Can't be afraid. And also, too, y'all, make sure that you're paying attention, you're watching things and learning. You take advantage of the stuff that, get informed. There are more opportunities to learn things about stuff. If you hear something from one news source, go out there and check it and see if multiple news sources are reporting it, and make sure that you're not succumbing to your own biases. That a lot of time that can happen to all of us. And there are people out there that make money off deceiving you and deceiving me and deceiving all of us by pandering to each one of our biases. And then we end up, creating discord and spreading things that are not necessarily true because it fits our biases. And so that happens. And we're all been guilty of it. I'll be the first one to say I have definitely been guilty of it myself. All right. So, guys, not too long ago, man, one of my favorite athletes passed away. A lot of you guys, if you keep up with basketball, you understand who Bill Russell is. He's the man that the NBA Finals MVP trophy is named after of. Here's the crazy part. He probably would have had majority of the Finals MVP if they were given Finals MVP when he was playing. He won 11 championships, the greatest champion of all time. And guess what? 9 of them just as a regular player, and the other 2 as a player/coach. He was Jackie Moon, the movie Semi-Pro. That's who Bill Russell was. Bill Russell was the head coach/player. So he's coaching in his uniform, takes his warm-up off, go checks himself in the game, continuing coaching, pointing to this guy on the side, telling him, coming up with the game plan, watching film, doing all of those things, practicing, running practice, doing all of those things, and won 2. And here's the other thing. He was the first African-American major sport head coach. He opened the door for people like me. He opened the door for all African Americans that wanted that leadership position, but wasn't allowed to because guess what? People didn't see us as leaders. But Bill Russell proved, and he did it not in just a regular dynamic. He showed everyone, hey, look, this is where I'm at. I can play and coach. Come on now. Any athlete will tell you that's one of the hardest things to do. Any coach will tell you that. And Bill Russell did that. 11. And he did it in a city that didn't necessarily embrace him at first. And I'm going to tell you some lessons from Bill Russell. And I'm going to talk about some of those things about how the city didn't embrace him, but how he kept going and different things that he did along the way. Number 1, know your value, but know others' value and worth. In an interview, Bill would oftentimes talk about the guys that he played with. Bill knew, in college, he averaged like 30, 35, 36 points a game, led his team to a national championship, all of these type of things. Bill Russell was just as good as Wilt Chamberlain, just as good as Big O, just as good as all those guys back in that day. But he also knew that he was blessed to be on a team that had other great players. And he was such a cerebral individual, he decided that I'm going to be a rebound maestro, a defensive maestro, and all of that. There is clips of Bill Russell grabbing rebounds when he needed. He would take the ball up the court himself, and he jumped from the free throw line and contorted his body and did a layup. And I'm like, this guy's moving like LeBron James, looking like LeBron James. He was 6'9", tall, long, but he committed himself to rebounding and defense. That's why his scoring average don't look super high, but those rebounds, man. His defensive presence, man. And people talk about that. And when he had to take over a game offensively, he did. That's the crazy part. When his team needed him to be the offensive juggernaut, he was that. But he knew everybody else around him valued. And that's another thing, like, no other people around you value. Leverage that. Leverage it for your success. And that's what Bill did. Number 2, it's never enough to say that others are better. he always talked about how great Wilt Chamberlain was. And sometimes he would say, he would let Wilt score in order that Wilt wouldn't dominate a game because he knew Wilt had a switch. And he strategically used that, for his advantage against Wilt. And he knew that Wilt was better than him, better athlete than him. But was he a better winner? That's up to y'all to decide. But as I said too, Bill gave credit to who credit was due. He always talked about the great plays, talked about Jordan, he talked about Kobe. He talked to them. He gave them advice. He told them how to be better champions. Kobe Bryant talked about that. How Bill changed him and basically propelled him on that second run of championship with Paul Gasol and Lamar Odom, etc. Number 3, stand for those without a voice. When Medgar Evers got killed in Jackson, NCAA's CP leader got killed in Jackson, Mississippi, Bill Russell was there. He went to Jackson, Mississippi. Bill Russell marched. He donated money to Thurgood Marshall and all the people that were like Thurgood Marshall had to travel around to help get black people off, that were falsely accused off cases and stuff. Those athletes back then was donating money to the civil rights cause, helping lawyers get to places to defend for people, and funding Dr. Martin Luther King, funding different types of organizations that were propelling change, but also participating when they had a chance. Number 4, be bigger than your job. That goes with number 3. He stood up for people without a voice. Bill did those interviews. He talked about those different things, how he was treated. And he didn't focus on how he was treated, but he told about it. But then he would get to the bigger picture. Number 5, conversations are more important than materialistic things. Bill would never sign autographs. People would ask him to sign autographs. He said, hey, you know what? He would ask them to talk to him. He said, hey, you want to sit down and talk? Most people rejected it. Sad, right? You get a chance to just talk with him for about 15 minutes. He probably was going to give him the autograph afterwards, but he just wanted to talk to him about life. Just talk. Just have a conversation. Number 6, take control of a situation. Don't let it control you. He talked about how people broke in his house and defecated in his house and defecated and did some nasty stuff to him when he traveled in his home, broke in his home. Why? He was winning. Winning wasn't enough for those people. But Bill stayed calm. He controlled the situation. He didn't let the situation control him. He was bigger than the situation. He was bigger. He didn't let it change him. Yes, he talked about it. It affected him. It hurt him. But he channeled that. And we got to learn how to find channels and avenues to channel the hurt, the pain, the frustration, like I talked about earlier. Number 7, be a man of thought, planning, discretion, and intelligence. Bill was a highly intellectual guy. He wrote articles about bees, the mating habits of bees. He was always trying to learn. He was always trying to grow. He was always trying to grow in his knowledge of the world. That's why he lived until his 80s. He lived so long because he was on a constant pursuit of growth. He was on a constant pursuit of intelligence. He was a thoughtful person, a planner. He was just that guy. He was just that cerebral. And goes on with number 8, be curious about human nature, psychology, and life. And if you saw that from Bill, like all of those articles and different things that he wrote and, wanting to sit down and talk to people and sharing different lessons of life. And he was very cerebral. Like that's what guys, when they talk to him about the game, he didn't talk about the dribbling. He didn't talk about the athleticism. He didn't talk about necessarily the winning, but he talked about the tools, the mental tools to get people to those points. So salute to a real one, Bill Russell. Things that I've learned, and hopefully you learned something from him too. All right, y'all. So peace out for another podcast, baby. Another episode of the Multifaceted Minute. And I am Reggie Harris. Please subscribe. If you want more coming, let me know. Peace.